Hi Leanne, I'm just actually going to make you a quick video because sometimes I feel like this stuff is easier to see in action than to, get a couple of screenshots in an email about. So basically, every teacher and student in Ontario can have access to Desire to Learn. It is the Ministry of Education's platform, and as part of that, they actually are writing a number of courses that students can use, and teachers can either use those in their regular day school courses, or they're used at alternative sites, or they can be used for e-learning or things like adult education, that sort of thing. So there's lots of different uses, but essentially it's the same system that you start from. So to log in, you'll notice this is the web page up here. It is linked off of most of the school home pages. Just like Moodle would be linked, it'll be there. But if you want to have just a place to go, to log in, your username is actually the front end of your email. You'll notice mine has a 2 on the end of it just because I have a few user accounts. So yours would be Dean, and then your password as a default is your employee ID. If you forget your password, it is linked up to your board email account, so you can actually use your username and click the forgot password link and reset your password. So once you've logged in, you'll see a few different things. So on this homepage, sometimes you'll get different news items here. So right now, teachers can now activate their own d2l courses. So there's just a link to a document that explains how to do that. So you can check that out when you log in. Down below here, you'll notice you have a couple different tabs. So one will be the like a student tab, and there is a teacher training course in there for all the teachers in the board. So you might want to check that out. And then there's all the courses that you have as a teacher. Now, because you guys are in an alternative setting and you probably have a huge number of courses listed under your name, you might want to have a look at how it's divided out into semester, and then you'll see links to each of the courses. And then in the future, you can brainstorm, and we can help to do that, how to set it up in an alternative setting so that your view just doesn't look so overwhelming. I know I've done that with the St. Leonard's program. But essentially, yeah, you can get in, and this is where all your courses would be listed. So those are sort of your active courses where we'd put material. So what material can you actually put in them? This is where you can preview all of the courses that exist, from, kindergarten to grade 8 and then grade 9 to grade 12. So if you click on that all public courses, you could come in and you'll actually see these little arrows here work the same as on that home page, but you'll actually see all of the courses that the Ministry of Education has paid teachers in Ontario to write, so that other teachers in Ontario can use them and modify them and make them their own depending on their students. So for example, if we were to go into the GPP course, we can go to the content area, and you'll see these are all of the units. So you get your table of contents. There's usually a couple of introductory units, and then there's the units for the course. So inside the units for the course, you'll see that there's a number of different activities. So this first activity, recognizing effective leadership. So basically there's like an overview to what the lesson is going to be about. There's the ministry expectations, which, I kind of tell the kids is a little bit ugly to look at, so they probably aren't going to spend much time there. Some of them will actually read to the students, so this one will actually read to the students. If you have an iPad, you can also highlight the text and have it read to the students as well. So throughout the activities, you'll find a number of different things. So this one here would be a worksheet organizer that they're going to be working with, but then they have a YouTube video that's embedded in it that they can watch, and then you kind of have all this different stuff. So this is sort of the content of the lesson. And then the students would get to the assignment page, where they usually have listed things that they need to do. So they have to do this Frayer organizer, and so let's just download that so you could see. So essentially you get the actual Word document, and the students would then fill that in and send it back to you through the Dropbox. Or they could hand it in depending on how you guys like to do it. So this would be a direct link to the Dropbox where you can do your online grading, and there's usually a rubric tied specific to each assignment that just sort of helps you guide you in your marking process. So that's sort of the general overview. If we go back to the course, here we go. Most of them do have a culminating activity, so here's the culminating activity for this one. It's just got an overview that the students are going to do, a reflective journal and an action plan, and what else? So there's their reflective journals, and it's going to be set up the same way, so they're probably going to spend most of their time under content and assignment, and then this is their overall assignment. So it's a reflection piece on their leadership progression through the course, and then there's a rubric that's made directly for that assignment to help with the marking. So yeah, essentially that's how these 155 different courses are set up. So I'll send you some information about sort of pros and cons and that sort of thing that we found in the Section 23 pilot that we were running this semester through St. Leonard's. Because it would be sort of similar stuff in an alternative setting for you guys as well. But it is kind of a good place to start in terms of potentially offering some different electives that maybe you haven't been offering before in the program, or maybe even credit recoveries, that sort of thing, or if you just find that the ILCs are getting outdated. It's kind of a nice way, like there's going to be a brand new civics course that comes out in September. There was a brand new careers course that came out last year. So there's lots of different stuff in here that you could definitely use in shape. Now the other piece is, so all these things can be minimized. The other thing is there's a student toolkit here. So say you just wanted to pick a couple activities for the students to do, you can actually find the activities here in this OERB. You know, there's links to things like bit strips or direct link into Britannica, some of the other ministry resources, My Blueprint, I've got a link there if the students have been doing their IPP process. And then this one's a really great how-to site for students, so it tells them how to use the Dropbox, how to make a discussion, all of those sorts of things. So that's definitely worth them getting used to. Similar to the students is a teacher toolkit, and so some of these will sort of let a teacher in differently than it will a student, so they're worth checking out. But this one right here, I can't you know, describe how good it is. It's a course that's being created by sort of a whole bunch of people in Ontario, and it's Ontario centric, and has guides for exactly how to do basically all of the tools. So how to use Do-A-News, how to do Dropbox, all of those sorts of things. And then there's all sorts of help videos and things here. So if you're stuck, that's sort of the place that you would go to find out how to use some of the different materials. And I'll send you some more information in the attached email.